Hi everyone, a very good morning to one and all, and a warm welcome to the next session on JavaScript. The previous session, we have seen about how to generate a prompt box under window object in JavaScript. In today's session, we mainly concentrate on operators in JavaScript. So before going to today's session, let us have a brief look at what the things we have discussed so far in the previous session, right? We all know that there is one object called as window object in JavaScript. This window object supports three types of message boxes. Among these three types of message boxes, alert box is one of the box and confirm box is the second one, and prompt box is the third one. So in the last two sessions, we have discussed regarding alert box, confirm box, and prompt box. So this prompt box is mainly used to take some inputs into the web page. So this prompt box, we have a text which will be displayed on the prompt, and a text field which will take some input values, and we have OK button and cancel button. And if we make a click on OK button, the value which was inserted in the text field will be returned to the web page, and if you press cancel button, no value will be returned to the web page. So this is what we have discussed in the previous session. So the people who don't know what is a prompt box, how that prompt box is created in JavaScript, and how that prompt box is used in the program, how the input values from the prompt box are returned to the web page, please have a look at the previous session. The link was already kept in your WhatsApp groups, right? Please have a look at the previous session. There you will understand what is prompt box and how it can be used in JavaScript, right? Hope you all understand what is alert box and confirm box and prompt box, right? And then in today's session, we are going to discuss about operators in JavaScript. So let us start the things. JavaScript operators. So JavaScript operators are the symbols that are used to perform operations on operands. The following are the different types of operators in JavaScript. We all know the operators in C programming language, in C++, in Python, and in Java programming language also. We all are very familiar with these operators. So similar to the operators in all the other languages, JavaScript also support a huge set of operators by which we can perform certain operations in a program, right? So for example, if we have an expression called as C equal to A plus B, if we have an expression similar to this one, C equal to A plus B, then C, A, B, these three things are called as operands because we are doing operations on these variables. That's why they are called as operands, whereas equal to and plus are called as operators, right? So that is the meaning of the first point here. JavaScript operators are the symbols which are used to perform operations on. Here in this expression, A comma B comma C are called as operands, right? A comma B comma C are called as operands, and this plus and equal to are called operators. So these symbols are used to perform certain operations on operands, right? Now let us see the next point in the slide. So the following are the different types of operators that are used in JavaScript. So the first type of operators are arithmetic operators. We know arithmetics. So there are some operations which can be performed For example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and modulo division, right? So all these operations are operations, and the symbols of these operators are comes under this arithmetic operations, right? So these symbols are used to perform arithmetic operations, right? So here plus is used for addition, minus is used for subtraction, and then star is used for multiplication, and slash is used for division, and the percentage symbol is used for modulo division, right? So let us use these symbols in order to write a program in JavaScript, and let us see how these symbols will behave and how we can use this symbol in JavaScript language, right? So these things we have already seen these things in C programming language, C++ programming language, Python, and then Java also. The same things are going to be repeated here, right? So let us use these things in a JavaScript program, and let us see how these things will behave in Java. Right? Let us move to the Java. Sorry, let us move to the programming window here. So inside the programming window, go to new and take new HTML document. Let us start from the beginning. Let us have an HTML tag and then head tag. I will change the font size. It is, I think now it is visible. Right inside the head, I am going to use a title tag, right? And my title of the web page is operators. Let us close the title of the web page, close the head section. Now open the body section of the web page, right? Inside the body section, use the script tag. I'm sorry, use the script tag, right? Now, inside the script tag, let us define 3 variables, right? So there may be integer, floating point, or any type of variables, right? In JavaScript, especially in JavaScript, when we want to define variables, we use a keyword called as var. So let us assume there are 3 variables whose names are a comma b comma c. Now a comma b comma c are the 3 variables, right? Now let us assign some value to variable a, and let us assign some value to variable b, and let us add these 2 values and store the result in C, right? Now we just initialize the 2 variables a and b, and then we have added the values in a and b, and we are going to store the value or store the result of the addition in C variable. Now if you want to print the output, we have a method called as writeln method. So we can use that writeln method by using an object called as document. Let's write the document here. Document dot writeln, right? I want to print after addition the result is. After addition the result is, I want to print the value of C here. I can write document dot writeln, right? I want to print the value of C here. Now let us close the script tag, right? And then close the body tag, and then close the HTML tag. Now save this code with any of your interested names. We are working with operators, that's why I have saved this code with o.html, right? So now let us find where this o.html is, right? I think it is in documents. Now make a double click here in order to view the output of the code. Now if you make a double click here, you can observe after addition the result is 30. You can observe after addition the result is 30. So let us compare, right? Let us compare these two things. Let us compare the programming window, and at the same time I'm closing all these extra tabs along with the output window. Right, you can see here we have given after addition the result is, right, in the document.writeLN we have given after addition the result is document.writeLN of C. So it will print the value of C here. So the value of C will be, it is an addition between the value of A and B. So it is an addition between 10 and 20. So 10 plus 20 will be stored inside C, and we have printed that C value. Now let us use the two different operators also here, right? I'm copying this code, right? I'm trying to apply all the other 4 operators in the under arithmetic operators. So we have seen the result of addition. Now I am going to subtract A from B. That is, I am going to write B minus A. And here I am changing this one as subtraction. After subtraction, the result is C. Now I want to multiply the two values. So now I'm using after multiplication, the result is, right? So here I'm going to divide, right? I'm going to change after division, the result is, I'm going to use the modulo division here, and I'm going to write after modulo division, the result is, right? Now let us save the code. Let us save the code and make a refresh here. It will print the result of all the things, right? Make a refresh here. So if you observe, we have got the addition result is 30, the subtraction result is 10, the multiplication result is 20 because it is 10 into 100, and the division result is 0.5, and the modulo division result is 10. So modulo division will give you the remainder. That's why we got 10, right? So this is how we can make use of all the arithmetic operators. Here what happened is, for this, especially for addition, it is 10 plus 20 because the value of A is 10 and the value of B is 20. And for subtraction, we have subtracted, we have given the equation as B minus A, where the value of B is 20 and A is 10. That's why we got 20 minus 10, 10. And for the multiplication, we have given 10 into 20. That means we got 200. And for the division, we have given, right, we try to subtract the value of, the value of 20 by 10. I'm sorry, right? That's why we got the value of right, A by B. That is, we try to divide 10 by 20. We got 0.5, right? 0.5 times 20, it will give 10. Now, in case of modulo division, right, we try to find the modulo division. In case of modulo division, we got the result as 10. So it will give the remainder. So here, we try to find the remainder when 10 is divided by 20, right? So this is how all these operators will work. In all these arithmetic operators will work in JavaScript. Now let us move to the next point inside operators in JavaScript. So there is a second type of operators which are called as relational operators. So these relational operators are used to find the relation between two operands. Relation in the sense, if there are two operands, these operators are used to find whether the first operand is greater than or greater than second operand, or whether the first operand is less than second operand, whether the first operand is not equal to second operand, or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So this is how the relation will be in between two operands, right? So here these operators are used to find the relation between two operands, right? So the following are the different operands which are under relational operands, right? It is less than, right? It is less than, and next one, it is greater than, it is not equal to, right? It is less than or equal to, right? It is greater than or equal to. So these are the different relational operator we find in JavaScript language. So let us use these relational operators inside a program. Let us move to the programming window. Let us write these relational operator here itself, right? So let us find, right? Let us use an if condition here. Use if a greater than b, right? If a greater than b, then inside the condition I am going to write document dot write ln, document dot write ln, a is, one second, we need to use some double quotes, a is greater than b, a is greater than b, right? And in case if, right, if b is greater than a, right, b is greater than a, same I want to copy the document or write ln of this particular statement, and I'm going to paste this statement. I'm exchanging these two things. B is greater than A. So similarly, we have here we have used only the greater than symbol. Similarly, we can use a less than symbol or greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to symbols in place of this greater than symbol, if we want to find the less than relation or the not equal to relation between these two operands A and B. Now let us have a look at this one. I'm saving this code. I'm going to open the o.html once again in order to find the output. So if you see here, one second, we have ended the if condition with semicolon. That's why it has been terminated without observing the condition. Now let us make a double click here in o.html. Right. If you observe now, we got after all these output regarding addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, we got something called as b is greater than a. That means the value of b is higher than the value of a. If you observe the value of b and a, b is 20 and a is 10. It means b is greater than a. So we have written two if conditions here. A is greater than b. This condition became false. That's why the control just checked the another condition without entering this particular loop. Without entering this particular loop, it has checked the another condition. And this condition is true. Because of this condition is true, it has executed this particular statement and it has printed b is greater than a over the output screen. So this is how do we use these relational operators in order to find the relation between two or more number of operands. Now let us have a look at the next type of operators in JavaScript. And we have logical operators here. We use these logical operators in order to find whether the two conditions are true or the two conditions are false, or we want to find the inverse of the two conditions, right? So here under logical operators, we have three types of operators, right? It is called as logical and, I'm unable to write, wait a second. The first one is called as logical and the second one is called as logical or, And the third one is called as logical NOT, which is defined, which is shown by exclamatory mark here. Logical NOT, right? So for example, if there are two conditions, I want to check these two conditions, right? There is one block. If somebody wants to enter the block, they has to satisfy these two conditions. In such case, by simply using double ampersand here, which means and, if these two conditions are true only, then control will enters into the block. If we have a logical OR symbol here, when any of this condition is true, it will allow the user into the block. I will show it with an example, right? Now let us move to the window, edit plus window. Now, what I am going to do here is, right, I am going to use an if condition. What this if condition will do is, if B is greater than A, right, and one second, B is greater than A, and one more thing I want to take is, B is greater than C, right? If B is greater than A and B is greater than C, I want these two conditions to be satisfied. That means I can use double ampersand C here. So now inside this one, I'm going to print something called as document.writeln. Document.writeln. B is greater than A and C. Right? You can see the value of C is here 10. You can find the value. The last update to the C is 10. Right? Now the value of C, the value of A is 10. Right? B is 20. And the value of C is also 10 because we have performed C equal to something called as A percentage B, which give us the value 10. Right? Now let us check what will be the output of this code. Right? One second. Make a refresh here. So if I made a refresh here, it is not updating. That means this condition has not been satisfied, I think. One second. The last update to the C value. After modulo division, the result is 10. Right? We have initialized the value of C to the value of 10. Let us change this one, B less than C. Let us verify now whether it will work or not. One second. Nothing is wrong here. Let us check once again. Let us open the file. Right. Now it got we got the correct output. Now, as I said earlier, the value of A is 10, B is 20, and C is 10. Now we got something called as B is greater than A and C. So that means this condition is true and this condition is true. In case of both the conditions are true only, this statement is going to be executed. Because in between we have used the double ampersand symbol. Right? So if we use our symbol, right? So a particular block will be executed in case of any of the condition is true. In case of any of the condition is true, this block will be executed. In case of any of the both the conditions are false, it will never execute this particular block. Right? So this is how this logical operators will behave. These can be used in between the two operands. Right? So let us move to the next type of operators are called as assignment operators. We know how these assignment operators are used in the program, and still we have used this assignment operator in the program. If you find this one equal to, it is called as assignment operator. What this will do is, right, if we write A equal to 10 means, what it will do is, the 10 value will be stored inside the variable A. So when we define variable A, some amount of space will be created, and the name of the space is A. And when we write A equal to 10, the 10 value will be stored at the memory A. Right? So this is called as assignment. We are assigning some value to the variable. We are assigning some value to the memory. So that is called as assignment operator. Here the example of assignment operator in any programming language is equal to. Next one. After assignment operator, we have increment and decrement operators. We all are very familiar with these operators, right? For example, here what I want to do is, I want to write something called as A++. One second. A++ and B++. After writing this one, I want to print the value of A and B. Document dot write ln of A and document dot write ln of B. Right? Save the code and make a refresh here. If you observe, it has printed the value 11 and 21. It has printed the value 11 and 21 because initially the value of A is 10 and the value of B is 20. Right? If you write A++ means the value inside the A will be incremented by 1. That means the 10 plus 1, it will give 11. And if you write B++ means the value will become 21 because the initial value of B is 20. Now it will become 21. So along with this, we have a decrement operators which can be defined with a double minus symbol. So if you save the code and if you make a refresh here, it will print 9 and 19 because 10 will become 9 if you use decrement operator and 19 will become 20 will become 19 in case of decrement operators. So there are two things here. There are two things. Either we can write A minus minus B minus minus or minus minus A and minus minus B, where these two things are called as, right? These two things are called as post decrement because the decrement symbol has been used after the variable name, and these two are called as pre-decrement, right? Along with that, we can have A++ or plus plus A, which is called as post increment because we have used the plus symbol, and it is called as pre-increment, right? So the main difference is that when we write A equal to, not A equal to, when we write something called as B equal to A++, right? B equal to A++, which means assignment will be done first, right? Assignment will be done first. After that, the value inside that one will get incremented. And when we write plus plus A in the sense, right, increment will be done first. Increment will be done first, and then the value is assigned to the variable B. So if you want increment to be done and then assignment to be done, you can use pre-increment. And if you want decrement, assignment to be done first followed by increment, you can use post-increment. So this is how these increment and decrement operators will work in JavaScript. And then we have a ternary operator, which is called as a conditional operator, or it can also be called as ternary operator. How this ternary operator will work in the sense it is first it is defined by question mark and colon, right? Let us see how this ternary operator will work in JavaScript. Now, right now, what I want to do is, right, I want to write one condition, right? My condition is A greater than B, right? A greater than B. I want to define one more thing here. C equal to A greater than B, question mark, right? A colon B, which means the value of C will be assigned in such a way that, right, when A is greater than B, when the condition is true, it will assign the value of A to C. In case of condition is true, it will assign the value of A to the C. And in case if the condition is false, right? If the condition is false, the value of B will be assigned to C. So this is how this ternary operator will work. So the ternary operator is defined by a question mark and colon, right? Question mark and colon. So there we have one condition here. It is a condition. In case the condition is true, it will return the value which is before the colon. In case the condition is false, it will return the value which is after the colon. So this is how the ternary operator will work, right? Now, let us have a look at the next type of operator in JavaScript, the PPT. Right, the next type of operators in JavaScript is bitwise operators. So if you want to perform some bitwise operations, that is bitwise AND or bitwise OR and bitwise NOT, we can make use of this bitwise operators. So bitwise AND is defined by ampersand symbol, bitwise OR is defined by vertical line, and bitwise NOT is defined by exclamatory mark. It is bitwise. It is one second. I will write with. It is bitwise and first symbol, and the second one is a bitwise OR, and the third one is a bitwise NOT. Right? So when we have double ampersand, it will become logical operator. When we have a double one, it will become logical OR. Right? So keep the difference in your mind. And next one, let us move to the next slide. Control statements. So let us discuss these control statements in the next session. So with this, I'm going to close today's session. Right? Hope you all enjoy today's session. Enjoyment, other than enjoyment, I think the session will be a little bit boring because these operators are already covered in almost all the programming languages, what you are studying since from the last three years. Right? I think the session may be a little bit boring, but we have worked in JavaScript, right? And in the next session, we will meet with the control statements. The control statements in JavaScript are also very similar to the control statements in all other programming languages, right? So if you have any doubts regarding today's session, you can just make a comment. And I really thank each and everyone for being here in the session, for listening the session, and hope you got some enough knowledge in today's session. And in the next session, we will cover the topic called as control statements. So there we can cover conditional statements, iteration statements, and jump statements in JavaScripting language. We all are familiar with if else, switch case, while, do, while, for loop, break, and return. So these all things will be covered in the next class. Hope we will meet in the next class. Thank you very much for being here.